on this.
Hey, hey, what is going on, everybody? Hope everybody had a great little break there. I know I did. I got to go outside, stretch my legs, and enjoy the outdoors for a little bit. I love the outdoors, especially here in Colorado. We're back into, yeah, we really haven't had a winter out here, so I can't really complain. But now that we're going into the summer months, it gets even warmer, and we don't have to worry about humidity like in certain areas of the country, and we don't have to really worry about big bugs either, like down in the Florida area. So I am super excited about that. We are into the home stretch here, y'all. Um, Seventh Summit, amazing lives have been climbing with me on this journey now for 15 months or 14 months. And it has been an incredible ride, everybody. Um, Little did I know when everything started back in February last year that we would get to this point and lives would be impacted to this level. I knew the Mountain Summit Virtual was going to be something special and something different. And seeing that vision in my head and in my heart um, truly was a beautiful sight to see. And it's always a privilege to have new speakers on the summit with us, and also the ones that have been with me um, from the very beginning all the way back to 2018 and 2024. And one of those fellow mountaineers is Kristen Martin. And as you saw during the interaction with my folks back at 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, um, she and I connected through our commonality of our brain injuries, which, I, through what I have shared briefly on that area of my life and what Kristen has shared in previous summits, we don't let that hold us back. It's a injury, but it doesn't define who we are. And Kristen has been a part of this now for 2 years, and it's been amazing watching her blossom into the woman she is today. And I've had the privilege of seeing that happen unfold through the virtual connection, and it's been exciting to see. And I'd like to welcome Kristen back to the summit for the third time, which I was corrected on a little bit ago. She loves to do that, and which is okay. So, with that being said, Kristen, the summit is yours.
Thank you so much, David. First, I just want to say thank you for creating this platform. Thank you for pushing through whenever this was your vision and you knew it was going to go somewhere, because we are changing lives right now. And I just thank you again. I know I don't know all of you, and you might and some of you may not know my entire story, but anytime I like to come on and publicly speak, I like to just start out in a prayer, and that's for myself, really, but it's also for everyone else that chooses to do that. If you don't choose to pray, that's okay. If you could just quiet yourselves, I would appreciate it. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you right now. I just ask that you be with me. I just ask that you be with David and everyone else that has attended this summit, will listen to the summit, has listened to the summit. And I just pray that you would give me the words that you would like for me to use today. And I pray all this in your name. Amen. So I normally come out here swinging, telling you guys like my whole story, which is pretty sad if you just sit and listen to it. I've had a lot of heartbreak and trauma and medical problems in my life. But I want to switch gears a little bit today. But in order for you guys to understand why I'm going to switch this gear, I need to explain one thing. I do have something called expressive aphasia from my head injury, which just means that inside of my brain, while I'm thinking, I know everything that I want to say, but it doesn't always come out right. So I turn to music for not only therapy for depression and anxiety. I believe in listening to different like frequencies of music to help your central nervous system calm down. And through that, I found healing in a lot of artists' lyrics. And so I just want to start this. I almost said morning because I'm used to doing it this afternoon, this evening, with us listening to a song collectively. So if you guys just want to like go somewhere happy in your mind and just really hear the lyrics.
And I'm going to need you to remind me which one was it
Uh,
again, Christine?
it's called When Rest Don't Rest Me by Zania Monet.
One second, everybody. I apologize.
Oh, you're all right.
Kristen, why don't you share a little bit more about your story while I get this set up for you, okay? I thought I
Got
had
it.
it set up, but I don't.
Well, that's perfect because I was like, some people don't know. So, okay, a little bit about my story. I'm 34 years old. I was born with two genetic disorders that I didn't know I had until I was 33 years old. Those genetic disorders affect my connective tissue in my body. So not only the connective tissue, like in your joints that make you move around, but your blood vessels and organs are made up of connective tissues. And I don't have that. I don't make that. So that has made bleeding a huge problem in my life, and injuries for like sports type injuries a huge problem in my life just from walking and hitting a pothole. Like I hurt my ankle. So fast forward a lot of years later, um, I thought it was not funny, very coincidental, but almost on purpose by God. April is a month I've heard from maybe five at least people on here today that is their anniversary month of something significant that happened that brought them to this space. And April 30th of 2018 is that day for me as well. I went into work um, at the neurotrauma ICU at a level 1 trauma center here in Springfield, Missouri. And I left changed forever. A man struck me in the back of my brainstem and gave me a severe traumatic brain injury that would take the rest of my life to recover from. I mean, I'm still recovering from it, but initially I was in a wheelchair. Couldn't walk at all, couldn't swallow, didn't remember my son's name, couldn't talk, you name it. Relearned all of that and pushed through. But during that process, I also had some domestic violence happen, unfortunately, and my right foot was crushed as a result of that, which caused another head injury. When I was 13, I also had an internal head injury from a surgery due to my vessel disorder. So my head has been repeatedly like hit, impacted, something's happened. So I developed another disorder called chronic regional pain syndrome. Um, and what that is an incurable disorder. Western medicine says they don't have a cure for it. Pain pills don't work for it. It is a fiery type pain that you feel all over your body. And it starts to shut down your organs too. So my stomach doesn't work very well anymore. I've had a tube feeding for probably 3 years that goes into my small intestine. Um, but I choose every day to get up and some, but what I want, but my message today is about depression because I know everyone comes on here and they're like, give a good message. We leave here, we want to feel good after what we heard, right? But I'm that person that usually always likes to just talk about real topics that are super real to me at the moment and not taking away from anything anyone else has said. But for me in this moment, when you are a chronic health patient, depression is real and it's something that you'll battle for your entire life. It's a disease. It's like no different than if you're an alcoholic. That's a disease. It is not something that someone can just look at you and say, "Hey, smile, shake it," like, and make a joke, and like it's all better. It doesn't work that way. And so instead, I wanted to share with you guys some of the things I do whenever I find myself getting really down and depressed, and then kind of explain some of that through the songs. So I didn't know if did you find it?
We're
Okay.
good to go.
All right. So if you guys want to just listen super intently to the lyrics, not so much like the melody. Some people are like, you know,
Here we go.
I lay my head down, but my thoughts keep running. Clock says midnight, but my mind's still humming. Pillow full of questions, blanket full of fears. Been carrying this weight for too many years. Trying to silence all the voices, but they louder when it's quiet. And this peace I try to borrow feels more like a riot. When rest don't rest me, and sleep won't save me, these dreams don't bless me, they just chase me. War inside, nobody sees. I'm tired as hell, but I can't find peace when rest don't rest me. Oh, I just need to breathe. Told him I'm fine. Smile through the tension, but inside I'm folding, just begging for redemption. My chest feels tight, my hands keep shaking. This smile ain't joy, it's barely faking. They say take it day by day, but every day feels the same. I'm trying to pray it all away, but even faith feels strange when rest don't rest me, and peace don't find me. Dark thoughts test me, they creep behind me. I fight each night for sanity, exhausted but I can't break free when rest don't rest me. I just need to breathe. Someone tell the storm to hush. Tell my heart it's safe to trust. I'm just trying to make it through, but I don't know what to do when rest don't rest me, and I feel too broken. Words unspoken, barely coping. If I fall, will someone catch me, or am I too far gone to see when rest don't rest me? Just breathe away.
I don't know if any of you guys have. Thank you, Deb. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard that song before, but for the season of my life that I'm in right now, I couldn't have told you any better how I'm feeling. And I know that I can't be the only one. I have days where I get up and things are good, and then they're not, and then they are, and they're not. And I was talking to someone the other day at one of my doctor's appointments, and I said we exchanged the "How are you?" and someone mentioned that either in day one or day two. I'm not sure who it was, and I was like, honestly, like not great, but thank you for asking. And I hope you have a good day, kind of thing. Um, but I just wanted everyone to hear that song, and there's such a stigma on not being okay. Um, and that is why we're losing people and people are dying to suicide. Because if more people could get on a public platform and say, I'm not okay, then we'd have people to help them be okay. Because you see, the biggest need for humans beyond food and water is human connection. If you do not have human connection, then you will be isolated, you will be lonely, and your thoughts will overtake you. um, and so for right now, I know everybody has some sort of response to this. And so the very last one is like, well, what do we need to do? I just need to breathe. So if everyone could take just a huge deep breath with me, I always tell my kiddo who's autistic that we're going to smell the roses and blow out the birthday candles. And so that's one of the techniques I use when I'm anxious or just overstimulated, because I do have a head injury or whatever. And it's very cleansing. So I'm just going to do one if you guys want to do a couple with me. Perfect. So I have a caseworker because I am a chronically ill individual that needs one that comes over to my house once a week. And we've been brainstorming on ways that I could, because my anxiety and depression have been really high recently. And I'm not here to sit and say they haven't, because they have. And so we've been brainstorming ways she'll say, well, what are your coping skills? And I'll look at her and I'll say, I don't know. And then we're in the conversation a little bit later than that, and she's said something, and I was like, hey, have you heard this song? And I was like, oh wait, I listen to music whenever and so she was like, write that down. And so we did this for a while, and then it was before you knew it, I had more coping skills than I thought I had. It's just that when you're in that moment, your body's in that fight or flight, right? And maybe you can't access those coping skills. Okay. So today, so what we did was we made a coping card, and as kindergarten as it might sound, it's not. It's very helpful. It's self-reflective. It's something that's a pocket notebook size card that you could carry in a pocket. Because again, I know I'm not the only one that struggles with anxiety, right? And so we sat down, we made this card, and I would encourage you guys right now, even if you have a pen and paper nearby, if you don't, use your phone, type it in the mess, wherever you want to put it, or do it later if you want to do it in solitude on your own. But if everyone could just write, one or two ways down that you guys cope whenever you're anxious, because I'm interested to see all the different ways, if anyone's willing to share. Yours. We'll just take about one more minute here. And then if anybody wants to throw on their hand up, if anyone wants to share, I'd be grateful. If not, that's okay too. David. He's dancing. Is this what you do? Hand dancing? What do they call that? I forget. There's a style of dance, but I'm not sure. Okay. Is everybody done? Everybody good? Okay. David, you want to give me what you got?
So for me, it's I have battery operated candles in my bathroom, and when life gets to me, I turn those on and I turn on the hot shower and I climb in and I just sit there in the hot water with no music, nothing like that. I am a music buff, but I just let the hot water, run over me and consume and just sit there and think and reflect on life. And that's how I calm the nerves down.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. Deb?
Kristen, thank you so much. I adore the pocket toolkit, if you will, coping
Thank you.
tricks and hacks. And my go-tos, I just listed 4 rapid fire walks or just getting out in nature, cooking, crafting, talking to friends.
Thank you. Anybody else want to share? Okay. Oh, did you say something, Ashley? No. Okay.
Sure. I am like Deb. I go outside and I ground, and then I listen to music and try to counteract the energy that's kind of put me in shock.
Right. Yeah, and all those are super great ways. And then I sat here and we're doing this exercise, with my therapist that was here the other day, and she started to then ask me to really write down all the ones, and I got stuck for a minute after music because all the things I used to would cope with, I can't anymore. I can't go on long walks and I can't run. And running was my adrenaline. That was my release. That was it for me. Um, I have to walk carefully so that I, stay as well as I sit before you today. So I had to dig a little bit deeper. So I went with music as my top one, no matter where I'm at. I will play a song walking down Walmart hallway. Oops, sorry. So I went with music. And then the second one I went with was walking because I still like to be outside. And also, it helps me to not lose any more muscle or, waste and just whatever. Excuse me. And then, I was a super big outdoors person before. Like, I rode horses and all this is like, okay, can't do that. So, can I replace that with my mom makes the joke, oh, we should just wrap you in bubble wrap and you're only allowed to do puzzles and paint. Well, she struck something in a joke. I didn't know I was really actually decent at drawing and painting. I had never, like in my life, done it before. And will you go get that church thing that's above that we built with all the sticks and the grass right above the dresser? Thank you. So I try to incorporate all those different techniques for me. Because of my head injury, I had to carry around the coping card. For you, maybe you make it, you read it a bunch of times, and it's stuck in your head. And now you can access that file and you can, calm down easier. But I want to show you guys something because you can learn new things. And I was stuck for a long time going, this is awful. I want to be in the lake. I can't. I have a feeding tube. I want to be, wherever. I can't. So instead, I taught myself art. And this, if you look at it closely, is a church. And it is made completely of, oh, hold on. Can you guys still hear me? My mom was trying to call in. It is made completely of things we collected out in nature that we were allowed to take. And then we epoxied it after we inset it into there. And it's got stained glass windows and cobblestone. And it's super cool. And so I began to think, okay, maybe I can be happy. I'm that person always searching for that purpose in life, right? Like, I became an RN. I was a pretty high level RN, taking care of really sick patients, using my brain all the time. And I needed somewhere to do that. And so today the message is really two parts. The first part is we all do have coping skills. We just have to find them. We all can love our new life. We just have to embrace it and try it. That was it for me, was like, for the long time, I'm stubborn. He knows that. I'm stubborn as a, whatever the saying goes, like I am stubborn. That's, I think, why I learned to walk 3 times again. But, and with that, it comes its issues too. So it was for those two purposes. And then the other purpose was, I just have the biggest message of, if you're sad right now and you need help, reach out. And it's okay. It is okay. It is okay. It is okay. It is okay. And it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be depressed, but it's not okay to stay there. And it's not okay to reach out for help. Because when you don't, that's when nobody knows. So we sit back here and like, we let our brain lie to us. We let the devil lie to us. People telling us, you know, and it's just, that's not it. So in closing, I have another song I want to play for you guys. And this is a message directly to every single one of you.
I'll have to let me play it. 1 minute. Had it all queued up and everything after that incredible. Gotta love technology.
I pray you wake up one day and don't feel heavy, like the world finally loosened its grip on your chest. I pray the nights you cry in silence turn into mornings you breathe without stress. I pray the unanswered questions get answered in ways you didn't expect, and the same hands that held you together be the ones that lift you next. I pray the doors you kept knocking on open wide without you begging. I pray the weight you've been carrying turns into strength you didn't know you had in you. I pray the people who doubted your growth get front row seats when you blossom, and every scar you tried to hide be proof God never forgot you. I know life ain't been fair to you. I know you've been strong longer than you should have had to be. But if nobody ever told you you ain't forgotten, let me say, I pray you get everything you ever wanted, and some things you didn't even know to ask for. I pray God come through for you in ways that leave you staring at the ceiling, crying on the floor. I pray everything sent to break you only ends up making you. I pray the pain don't win, the fear don't stay, and even if I'm not around, I pray. I pray your heart don't harden from loving the wrong people. I pray you don't punish yourself for what you didn't know back then. I pray you stop replaying moments where you did the best you could with what you had. I pray you forgive yourself for ways nobody ever taught you. I pray the love you gave out freely find its way back to you multiplied. I pray you learn that resting ain't quitting, and peace don't mean you gave up the fight. I pray when you finally choose you, you don't feel guilty for the decision, and you realize losing some people was really God's protection. If nobody ever prayed for you, if you've been pouring from an empty place, let this be the moment you realize He's been covering you the whole way. I pray you get everything you ever wanted, and some things you didn't even know to ask for. I pray God come through for you in ways that leave you thanking Him for what hurt before. I pray everything sent to break you only ends up shaping you. I pray your faith don't fade, your light don't gray, and even when it's hard to believe, I pray.
Wow, Kristen. Sis, listen, I've known you since 2024, and I know the uphill challenge you've had this last year. But listen to me. Where you were in September of 24 to where you are now, it's far different. The
Yes, it
medical
is.
side the medical side of things, it's a challenge, yes. I get that. But the strength that you're showing everybody right now, this is completely different than anything you have done. And that is powerful.
Because I
you
told you I want to be more than just strong. I want to be vulnerable. I want to be real.
Exactly. For the last 2 years, I've been encouraging you to share more about you and the vulnerability. And you did that tonight. You didn't talk about the injury. You talked about you.
I let it go.
Yes,
I signed up
yes,
for vocational rehab and I let it go.
yes, you did. This is your moment. And this moment is where you're going to rocket launch to the summit top even faster than me and anybody.
Stop.
So listen up, kid. You've got this.
Thank you. And so do
Welcome.
all of you.
We're going to open this up to the VIP members and the guests here. Who, Deb, go ahead. I know you're going to unmute yourself, or Ash, whoever unmutes themselves faster.
Oh, there we go. I hate it when
Go
people
ahead.
try to call in.
Go ahead, Deb.
Kristen. Hey, baby.
Hey.
Thank you
You're welcome.
for opening up and for going where it's uncomfortable and being vulnerable. I really, really feel like that it is those moments that cause us to grow the most. And you gave me such great tips and tools. And I think you're amazing. And I think you're doing great. And we're here. We're here all the time, whether we're on a Zoom call or not. We got you.
Thank you
babe.
so much, Deb, and I love you back.
Ash, you are next. Go ahead.
Kristen, you beautiful, beautiful heart. So be very proud of yourself because I know it can be hard to be vulnerable. You're in the right space for it, of course. And let me just give you an example of this. So I just know business, so that's why this example is business sounding. But I always say to people that, like, for instance, sell insurance, I always say to them, I don't know what insurance is. I don't know the details of it, right? You're the expert on that. I just know you and I want to know you, right? And then you could sell me all the insurance in the world, right? And so we have to remember that is like, you have an injury and I don't know what it's like to have the injury. I don't know very much about it, right? I'm not a scientist or a doctor. I've never dealt with it. But to hear your pain and your feelings behind it, your vulnerability, that was more impactful than just hearing about the injury itself. And so you did a great job, and you should definitely pat yourself in the back for that because it was beautiful. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Ashley. I look up to you.
And Kristen, before James goes, I'm going to give you a little homework assignment to do after this summit is done.
Okay.
Reach out to everyone on this call by the end of next week.
Okay.
Okay?
What did I
Because
put down?
everyone here I know personally, and they're all beautiful souls. And like Megan shared earlier tonight, when she was going through her darkest moments, she opened up and reached out and asked for help. So I'm going to check in on you next week because I'm going to have a lot more time on my hands when my shoulder's in that sling. And you know, I always check in with you because I've been worried about you, but I want you to reach out to everybody here, and I'm going to send you the lineup.
So
And
we have
you
an
got,
18-hour drive to Florida on Tuesday, a week from today. So I promise that by then I will have reached out to all of you
well, I'll
guys.
be checking in on Monday. So you know me because I know you. I love you. Go ahead, James. You're muted, bro. You're
I
doing it
know,
again.
brother. I do that intentionally just to make sure you're on top of things, brother. I do that intentionally. Uh, Kristen, I know we don't know each other super well. And not a lot of people have the opportunity to impact me on an emotional scale to the gravity of which you have.
Thank you.
But what I want to tell you from my heart to yours is that I really want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for going to a place where few people ever go to in their life and in their experiences.
Thank you.
And that takes more courage than any able-bodied or able-minded individual would ever have. There are people who are in peak physical condition that will never go to where you just went today. There are people who are the utmost preaching vulnerability and openness and honesty and transparency, and they will never speak to the power that you have spoken to today. I want you to know that it is not you. Levels above isn't close, right? And to open up your heart, even though it's hurting, even though it's painful, even though it's uncertain, and even though you might not know what the next step is, for you to do that and say, I'm here, this is me, I'm not the only one. That gave me chills, and that hit a couple levels of my heart that actually haven't been touched in a long time.
Thank you.
I'll say that because I'll step into this a little bit. I am not okay. I have things going on in my life. I have situations that are popping up, and I have, unfortunately, isolated in certain incidences. I have been silent in certain incidences, and you know that it hits your confidence, it hits your skill set, it hits your ability, and it hits your genuineness to actually think with clarity. And it could just put you in a place that you never realized you were ever going to go to until it's too late and you have to figure out how to get back.
Absolutely. And I don't have like some big plan in place, but it just came into my head, and I usually believe those things are from the Lord. So if anyone wants to start like a little chat group that needs some help, I would love to for that and welcome you guys to just come be prayed over, pray over someone, get encouragement. If prayer is not what you do, that's okay too.
Well, thank you for being so powerful and so obedient today. I definitely know I'm not the only one who feels that way. So
No,
thanks.
you're not. Thank you.
Thank you. You're muted, Dave. You're muted, Dave. You're
He's
muted,
doing it on
Dave.
purpose.
I did.
He's trying not to come off mute, I think.
Now let me guess, intentional, right, my friend?
Yep.
Yep.
It was intentional just for you, bro.
Cool.
But
Cool. You
it
set it up,
did-
I'll knock him dead.
I love you, James. You know, last summit couldn't hold it together near the end or throughout the second day. And Kristen, I have been waiting for this for 2 years. And I'm a proud big brother.
You've mentored me the whole way here, so please be proud.
I am very
I
proud
called
of
you last night and told you that today I was giving something different and so different, and I meant it.
I believed you, and I believe you, and I believe it 1,000,000%, sis. I've never doubted you any along the way. I saw something in you. I could see your heart, and what you have done today is what I saw 2 years ago.
That was the day I got in the shower and used that coping skill after you told me I was bawling my eyes out.
Yep. So celebrate this. What you just did tonight is what a lot of people can inspire to do. So
And
I
if
have
you
a
guys
lot of-
liked that music and want to hear more, because there's more, I will drop her name in the comments so you can go look her up because she's incredible.
Thank you, Kristen. I have a lot
Thank
of
you.
little sisters now, and I've always wanted a sister. Now I think I have like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I'm grateful. Kristen, thank you for.
Dave, how many sisters is the goal? How many do you want to collect?
I have no idea. I just
Pokemon, collect them all.
It could be like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but David Rablick and the Seven Sisters.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that. I already got.
I thought he was
Tish.
going to have collector cards on his sister, who his sisters are. You know, like baseball cards. David's got a collector's cards of all
As long
the-
as they're sisters and not sister wives, we'll be all right.
And they're all legends.
and they're all legends. You're right, James. They're all legends.
And while we're talking about it, I'm gonna turn my camera back off and wash her hair out because I was coloring hair to make money. Well, all the while she heard this.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Well, she got a gift then.
Yes, you did. Love you, Kristen. You're
Love you.
amazing.
I'm gonna be on here. I'm listening. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just turning my camera off.
Sounds great.
Love you
We're
guys.
gonna- You know, I'm glad I don't have to follow up that. But if anybody can follow up Kristen Martin, it's Justin Danforth, the man that is chiseled out of stone, the man that even Zeus himself would be afraid of.
No, he's not chiseled out of stone. Stone is chiseled out of Justin.
That is a very good point. And Justin Danforth is the new Chuck Norris 2.0. Even Satan himself won't come near Justin Danforth because Justin is a man on fire, creating a legacy in motion now. I met Justin a couple years back at the not Movement Maker. That's where I meet a lot of people, but I met him at my most favorite Unleash You Now event, and that's the men's retreat down in Orlando, Florida. And at first, I wasn't sure if Justin liked me, but as the weekend went on, he cracked a smile. And for Justin to be cracking a smile, that's saying something. I made him laugh just a little bit. And that's when I knew I was in. And ever since then, Justin has become a brother, a mentor. He got me inspired to kick my ass into gear to get back into shape. And I've been working on that, and I'm inspired by that, watching everybody on social media that's been killing it in the gym. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out. Here comes the man that's going to crush through the mountain without even dropping a sweat. He doesn't even have to flick his finger. The mountain just spreads like the Red Sea. Justin, my brother, the summit is yours.
Thank you. Real quick, can everybody hear me? All right, good. So I'm gonna do this a little bit different. I was looking at I don't know what it's been, a week, 2 weeks, when we started posting our graphics that David made, and these graphics were fire too, by the way, David. These new graphics with the I'm speaking graphics, much better, way more improved. So as I was looking at them and I noticed the title for the summit, this climb, he titled it "Journey Forward with Every Step." Journey forward with every step, legacy in motion. And so as I kept thinking about that, preparing my mind to give this speech, a lot of people talk about legacy like it's something we leave behind, like it's this big thing at the end of our life, whether it's your name, your impact, what people say about you when you're gone. And as it may be so, if we're being real, most people aren't building a legacy. They're just living days and hoping somehow those days turn into something meaningful later. So this is what I want to do. I want to ask you guys a question. I want to ask you something. If somebody followed you around for 1 week, would they see the legacy you say you want to leave? I'm going to say that again. If somebody followed you around for 1 week, would they see the legacy that you say you want to leave? Or would they just see a bunch of normal days strung together? Because legacy isn't built later. It's built in how you move today, how you wake up, how you show up, how you handle pressure, how you treat people, what you do when nobody's watching. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's something I had to learn the hard way. Because there was a time where if you followed me around for a week, man, you wouldn't have seen anything close to the life I said I wanted. So I had to face something simple. My future wasn't going to change until my steps did. So I sat in prison day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And then a decade goes by. And then I still got another 7 years and 9 months. And all of those days, the biggest thing, one of the greatest things that puzzled my mind was how people kept coming back in there. Because they would get out after doing 8, 12, 15, 20 years. And they'd be right back in the same cell block with me within the first 12 months. And it scared me. I'm like, how does this happen? Like, what are you, hard-headed, or you like it here? Nobody likes it here. So you just got to be real stubborn and hard-headed and dumb as hell. Like, how do you get back here? You don't understand. It's hard out there, young blood. You don't understand. It's tough. Man, the system's against us. It ain't designed for us to succeed. And I made up my mind right then. Nah, not me. I ain't coming back. I don't care how hard it is out there, how tough it is out there. And that's when I started, as most of you know, my daily program, my daily structure, the things that I do every single day. See, while everybody else is chasing this future vision of theirs that's way far off, I already know what's going to happen in my future as long as I focus on what I'm going to do this minute of each day. Because I start every day off the same. Focus on my character and conduct. Because everybody that knows me knows my greatest struggle in life, as we all have struggles, is not to break character. Because it's so easy for somebody like me to go backwards. So I get up early. I do a workout. I do some reflecting. I do some prayers. And so that on the onset of anything negative that steps into my life, throughout the rest of that day, I'm already prepared for it. I've already defeated it in my mind that morning when I sat and reflected on no matter how many people cut me off in traffic, or how long the light stays red, or who acts up in the grocery store, or all the dumb, ignorant stuff that we see. throughout our day-to-day lives that most people complain about. It's all exciting for me. Because there were days and times that that's all I wanted to do. That argument you have with your spouse, I wish I could have an argument with my spouse. I wish I had a spouse. That refrigerator you get to go open freely and take out a glass of milk. I love milk. I wish I could go get a glass of milk right now. So I realized I'm inherently negative. And so my morning process is to alleviate all that negativity, because nobody wants to be around that dude. Nobody wants to be around that dude. Who do we want to be around? The person that takes life and keeps on moving, the person that's ready for the next challenge and overcomes it, the person that's got the strength that to put in the work even when he don't want to do it, because that's what we all respect. That's the person we want to be around. So it became a matter of become the man I always needed in my life. Become the man everybody wants to be around. Become the man somebody else can look up to. Because most of the men in today's time, their own kids don't even look up to them. So I sat in prison looking at all these dudes coming back and realized that ain't gonna be me. But here's what most people miss about legacy. They think it's built in big moments. And it's not, it's built in repetition. And the stuff that feels small, like waking up on time every single day. So a lot of people always feel like they don't have enough time to do things. I always created more time in my day by just getting up an hour earlier, an hour earlier, an hour earlier. Until every day I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I got plenty of time to take care of what I need to take care of. And do the things that nobody claps for. See, the decisions you make when there is no pressure to do the right thing, that's where your legacy is built. See, every step you take is either moving you forward or toward the life you say you want. Remember, I'm going to keep driving. I'm going to emphasize that point. You say you want. Ain't got nothing to do with me or the next person. It's the life you say you want. You said you wanted to lose weight. You said you wanted to run a business. You said you wanted more money. You said you wanted a great marriage. You said you wanted more friends. You said you wanted more patience and gratitude and love. The life you said that you want. Or you keep it exactly where you are. But there's no neutral. There's no, this doesn't count. Because it all counts. How's it go? Your thoughts become words, your words become actions, your actions become your destiny. So everything you keep thinking and speaking on and not doing keeps you right where you're at. So if you're not where you want to be, look at your steps. Look at your intentions. And make those steps intentionally toward the life you said you want to live. Because your future isn't waiting for you to figure it out. It's being built right now by what you're doing today. You don't need to overhaul your life. See, I live under my understanding is the best way for my life to go as smooth and easy as possible is to live a life of deduction. See, everybody wants to multitask, right? I came home and it was this big thing like multitask. Everybody's multitasking. I'm like, hell no, I can't get nothing done. I tried it. Oh, I tried it. That ain't for me. I need things taken off of my plate, man. I get way more done the less I need to worry about, the less I need to focus on. I got more aim, more drive, and get way more done than somebody trying to do 10 things at once. And I got more time in a day. Just got to tighten your steps. Pick one part of your day and stop letting it slide. And then another, and then another. And that's how it builds, it compounds. This is the mountain summit, right? How are you gonna get up this mountain? Got to climb it. We ain't got an elevator or escalator. Because one day people will look at your life and call it a legacy. But what they won't see is how many regular days it took to build it. How many times you showed up when you didn't feel like it? How many times you did the right thing when it was easier not to? How many times you stayed consistent when nobody was watching? Legacy isn't something you leave, something you live every day. So if you want something different, don't wait for that big moment. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for everything to line up. Just fix your next step. Then the one after that. And then the one after that. Your legacy isn't coming later. It's being built right now. And if your steps don't change, your legacy won't either. So I'm going to end with this. Watch your steps, because that's what your life is made of. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. He hit the nail right on the head. Take those steps. Look at your structure. If you don't have a structure in place, nothing's going to happen. Stop looking in the rear view mirror. I love that, Justin. Absolute powerful. Every time you come to the summit, you always bring the heat, and I am always truly grateful for that. That's why I always love having Justin near the end of the summit, because at the near the end of it, when we're getting close to the summit top, we're tired. We've been on here for 2 days, 10 hours plus, and the energy is coming down, starting to get hungry, nighttime, kids need our attention. And when you have a legend like Justin coming in to bring that awareness, it's going to keep the energy level up. So I appreciate you, brother. We're going to hand it over to our VIP room. And a lot of people turn on their cameras because I know there are a lot of people here that love Justin. Who would like to go first? Go ahead, Sierra.
Justin, this was probably the most humble and softest I have ever felt coming from you. And I don't mean that in a bad way, like true divine masculine energy being poured out of you. And wow, that was probably one of the best speeches I've heard you give. I've heard you speak a lot, and it just hit on all levels. So thank you for being here. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sierra. Go ahead, James.
And my brother Justin, I could compliment and give you just all the flowers in the world. But I'll just keep it straight and to the point, because I know how that's how you like it. First, man, dude, every time I see you, you get more dialed in, and I want you to know that it's getting more and more powerful every time that you speak. It's getting more versatile. It's getting more impactful, and you say it straight to the point. You don't pull punches. This is what it is. This is what you got to do. If you're ready, willing, and able, I'm here. If not, here you go. And I love that about everything that you do, because that's everything you do. You walk your walk and you talk your walk. There's no talk the talk for you. This is what I do. This is how I do it. Everything you do is led by example, and the passion that's poured into that with the diligence and persistence and discipline and dedication. Man, I'm always inspired by you. So thanks for sharing everything that you poured into tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. Tim, go ahead, bro.
Justin, I'm thankful that this is the first time I think I've actually got to see you in here. All right, I think it's the second time I've ever heard you speak, and I love your energy. All right, and I love it that you make a guy like me feel like I need to be a guy, and not just not just somebody who needs to buddy up to people, but you make me feel like I need to be a real man. All right. And I love it that you actually made me take notes again. Thank you. All right. I do look forward to getting to know you better. I know we're Facebook friends, but it's not had a chance to actually get in close quarters like this. And for you to pour the heart out, love you, brother.
Thank you. And you can reach out to me anytime.
Thank you, Tim. We'll take one more, maybe two. Roxy and then Kristen.
Hey, Justin. We've been more interactive lately. I've heard you speak a couple of times, and I'm going to be raw with you. It hasn't always hit. But today, it felt like I was getting high fives every single time you were telling me, "Get your butt up the stairs. Keep climbing, Roxy. You got this." But like you meant it in this like big brother, like you're gonna do it, girl, because you're already doing it. You're just gonna do it even more with zest, more with passion, and more with dedication. Because I already do it, and like if you followed me around, you would know that I'm working my ass off. Does it always pay off? Well, it is gonna pay off. Do I work on my future? Absolutely. But I'm taking steps every day to know that my life is going to get better. As people heard me earlier, my childhood was hell, and I'm here still moving, still growing. But you really made connections tonight, and that was pure gold, and I value and appreciate that so much. Plus I never get to talk to you, so I'm glad I'm talking with you tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rox. Kristen, you're last, and then we're going to go into an amazing soul that I know very well.
Hi,
And
Justin. Sorry. Just me doing my multitasking thing I do best. I have to get to cheer practice soon with my daughter. No, I was listening the whole time, even though I was washing hair. I want to almost second what she just said, but not completely. I felt you the other times, but today I felt you. You see what I'm saying? So I did not hear what you said the last times, but you came to play today. You know what I mean by that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kristen, thank you for that. And Justin, bro, absolutely. I've gotten to hear you a whole bunch of times, at the men's retreats, at Movement Maker. And I know I haven't been to a couple men's retreats, but bro, every single time, even when you're up there, doing your thing, from the orange jumpsuit at Movement Maker 24 to seeing this humble side, every single time you hit me right in the heart. And not a lot of people get to talk to me in a way that hits me right in the heart, because I'm a very stubborn individual. And there's only 3 men in my life that get away with that. That's Austin, you, and Michael. And as everybody saw earlier, my father. So 4. And so I'm always grateful when you jump on here, because when you talk, I shut the hell up and I listen, because Danforth is a treasure trove of knowledge. And you know what and who can make this man smile? And I witnessed it in October. It's his lovely bride. She can make him smile. See, right there. So I really appreciate you, bro. Love you much. And looking forward to seeing you here sometime in the near future.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, brother. Now, this next gentleman, everybody knows how much he means to me. You all mean so much to me. Everybody here is family. But as I mentioned yesterday, at the end of day 1, I shared something very deep and personal about the anniversary of 19 years of trying to take my life. This next speaker is the reason I am still here with all of you. He didn't give up. He didn't quit. When I say that Austin Cunliffe is a determined person who doesn't know the word quit, I mean it. Austin is, I joke about when I say he's my adopted, younger, taller brother. When I say I'm joking, he's not adopted. He's been a part of my family since '07. And thanks to him, as I've said, he is the reason why I'm here. And over the years, we have built a brothership that is something I treasure every single day. His two boys, every time I get to spend time with them, I get to be an uncle, and I absolutely love it. This is Austin's second time on the summit. No, third time on the summit with us.
Third time.
Third time sharing his story. And he told me that he is going to knock our snowshoes off our feet. I'm not going to say socks. I'm going to use a mountain terminology. So buckle up, y'all. This is Austin Cunliffe, the bestie, the BFF, the man with the plan, the man that rocks the beard. The summit is yours, brother.
I don't rock the beard as much as some other people. David, thank you for having me speak again. David, I've known you for 19 years. I know that there was a time in my life where I didn't talk to you for 2 years. And I'm glad we reconnected. And it wasn't anything to do with David. It was what I was going on at the time in my personal life. But anyway, yeah. David and I have put in so much work behind the scenes to make this summit happen. So I just thank you guys for joining me. So when I think about legacy, I think about the greats. Guys like Michael Jordan, John Elway, Kobe Bryant. We don't just remember their stats. We remember how they showed up. Their discipline, their mindset, the way they performed when it mattered most, that's legacy. But here's a question for you. What do you want people to say about you at your funeral? Not about how many likes or friends you have on social media, not about your best day, but about your life. Are they going to say, are you lazy? Did you show up when needed? Did you coast? Or are they going to say, you worked hard, you loved your family, you lived with purpose? Because whether you realize it or not, you are building legacy every single day. Now, let me tell you about my dad, Charles Cunliffe. I feel like it happened so quickly. He had pain in his knee. He went to the doctor after struggling with knee pain, which ended up being cancer of some sort and never got diagnosed. Doctors replaced his decaying hip bone. A week later, he had a stroke, lost feeling in the left side of his body, impaired his speech, memory loss. A week later, he passed away on March 14th in 2019. I was devastated. The funeral was different than any other funerals that I've been to. The memories I have spending with him created the legacy I want to bring into my family. I want to live my life in honor of his legacy, with my wife and my children, building memories together. On April 29th, 2018, we lost Joey Vrablik, David's brother. On December 31st, 2023, we lost Leah Beth, unexpectedly, with little to no warning signs after suffering a cardiac arrest. She was 5 years old. She appeared to be healthy and had a happy Christmas with family. Also had play dates with my son, Marshall. On October 11th, we lost Truman Barnes, an 11-year-old, from a tumor on his brain. This was one of my coworkers' son's wife. Um, all 4 of these funerals I've been to, and there's nothing that prepares you for that. Nothing. These moments change you. They force you to ask questions most people spend their whole lives avoiding. What really matters? What am I doing with my time? Who am I becoming? Because tomorrow is not promised. And that's when it really hit me. Here's where most people get stuck. They want change, but they want it to happen around them, not within them. That change doesn't start with your circumstances. Change has to happen with you and only you. Here are some of the personal changes I decided to make within the last month. I decided to change how I interact with others, the way I spend time with my wife and children. I joined a gym 4 weeks ago. I stopped drinking Mountain Dew, which David knows how much I love Mountain Dew. I used to drink it religiously like water. So that's a huge step for me. I'm a 4-week sober, no Mountain Dew. So that's great for me. I'm a construction business owner and project manager. I also am the content creator for New Beginnings Motivation and the vice president of New Beginnings Motivation that started about a year and a half ago after Movement Maker. Every day, stress, problems, and things go wrong. And what do? We adapt, we problem solve, we take ownership. So I had to ask myself, why am I willing to do that in my work, but not always in my life? I was raised in a Christian home. I gave my life to the Lord when I was 11, but I continued to have a series of unfortunate events. I struggled with depression, anxiety, trauma, panic attacks. I drank alcohol mixed with pills that the doctors gave me to fix my problems. But the problems were still there the next day. The only constant in my life was God. After my father's funeral, I isolated myself. I didn't know how to grieve. I thought I was only grieving. I thought I was the only one grieving. And no one teaches this to you. I would go to work, I would come home, turn the TV on, and numb my mind. Not to be mindful of my wife's needs or my children's needs. Then last year at Movement Maker, life changed something. Life changed something in me. I discovered I was not alone. There are others out there that also have a series of unfortunate events. I started talking to other men. I realized I needed to change. Grief is what molds us into who we are today. Not comfort, not success, not easy seasons. It's the hard moments, the loss, the sleepless nights. Grief isn't just pain, it's love with nowhere to go. And what you do with that love, that determines your legacy. Another way for me on how I heal through grief is music, because sometimes you don't have the words, and music says what is on your heart and is trying to process. So one of the last reasons I skipped the last summit, I was project managing building a whole entire house that was 3 hours away from where I live. It was mentally draining me, but I still wanted to be there for my family and 2 sons. I remember where I was at the end of my stress level. I was tired and at the end of my rope. I remember coming home to watch my son's Christmas program. And let me tell you, I had some tears. Another memory I have is going to a Citizens and Saints concert at my church. And it was acoustical and it was amazing. And they sang a song called Relent, which I had never heard before. And now my sons, both my boys, asked me to play it on our way to daycare. And the song goes, if I gained the world, would it be worth the price? To work these hands to death and not be satisfied. I am so tired. So tired. And that hit me because I was so tired. And it made me question, what am I chasing? What am I building? What actually matters? Because grief has a way of stripping everything down to the truth. It reminds you success without purpose, work without meaning, life without love. It's empty. Then there's another song that comes to mind that I've listened to my entire adult life. There Will Be a Day by Jeremy Camp. That song reminds me the pain isn't the end. There's a day coming. No more tears, no more pain, no more suffering. And when you've lived through loss, you don't just hear that, you cling to it. During the summit, we have been hearing nuggets of wisdom. When I think of nuggets, I think of chicken nuggets that my boy loves to eat. And that's the only thing he'll eat. So we got to work on that. So I want this to be the whole dang chicken. Let me ask you something real. Are you going to heaven or hell? How do you know? Because you're not getting there by being a good person, not by good works, not by getting baptized. You get there through having a relationship with God and asking God into your heart. You get there by asking God for forgiveness. He died on the cross to forgive you of all of our sins. And here's the part we can't miss. We are forgiven through Christ. Not because we earned it, not because we deserve it, because of his grace. And that sounds good when it's about us, but it gets harder when it's about others. Because some of us carrying things right now, hurt, bitterness, anger, things someone said or didn't say, things someone did or didn't do, and we hold on to it. But here's the truth. You can't fully move forward if you're still holding on to what's behind you. Forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was okay. It doesn't mean it didn't hurt. It means you're choosing freedom over resentment. Because just like we've been forgiven, we are called to forgive. And for some of you, that might be the very step you need to take today to start moving forward again. Community has also helped me and know that I'm not alone. And you were never meant to carry this alone. That's why community matters. Communities like New Beginnings Motivation. Communities like Unleash You Now Family. Sorry, my printer just started going off out of nowhere. That's annoying. Really sorry. So I will leave you with this. Oh my gosh. Sorry, people. Let me leave you with this. What do you want people to say at your funeral? And more importantly, what are you doing today to make sure that's what they say? Because legacy isn't built someday. It's built in how you show up, how you love, and how you handle loss, and how you forgive, and what you do with your pain. Journey forward with every step, even the hard ones, even the painful ones, even the ones you didn't ask for, because legacy isn't about perfection. And the question is, are you moving forward or standing still? There's my whole chicken. Chicken wisdom, and not just the nuggets.
You know, February we had Flame On, and now this summit we have there's the whole chicken. Bro, I had no idea. You know how much I love you, Austin, and how much I care about you and your family.
So David, I'm going to be rude and jump in
Please do.
and give you a second because you know I'm the bossy big sister.
Please do.
Give you a second, take a breath, and I want to tell Austin what I did earlier today. Austin, I told David that I was so proud of you and that he should be so proud of you as well because you took control when we had the technical difficulties and you were Mr. Smooth Cool. That was my uncle's favorite saying, smooth cool. And you were smooth cool. And I told David the growth in you seeing that moment, he would be so proud. So this is the second time he has cried over you, my friend. just a proud big brother. God bless you, Austin, and just keep growing, keep being who you are. I think Austin's going to cry right now, David.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Okay. I'm crying. David's crying.
Sarah's crying. Thank you, Tish. Go ahead, Kristen. I'll follow all you guys up.
Okay, I'll make you guys all laugh. Austin, you ate that whole chicken. Yes. Yes. That's all I don't know. Every part of it was yes, yes, yes. So when you said that, that's what popped in my mind. That's why I did this to the camera. I don't know if anyone got it. But I just respect you and thank you for sharing that. And yeah, you gave us that whole chicken.
I wanted to create something new.
Same. And look at this afternoon. Just yeah.
Not saying that little nuggets here and there is not enough, but
go ahead, Sierra.
Austin, I mean, the whole speech was amazing, but the part about forgiveness, right? Like you really hit me there because, I'm working on understanding it better and you helped me understand it.
Thank you, Sierra.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, James.
Don't say it, David. I'm not muted. Austin, I guess I'm going to start off by saying, take that Chick-fil-A. This man ain't closed on Sunday. No, dude, Austin, like the evolution that is you, like you very much remind me of myself in some ways, and that I know what you do behind the scenes. I know the effort and coordination it takes, not only to put together and orchestrate an event, but to also be present for your family while maintaining a good handle on Mr. Vlabrick. I understand that we mean it in the best way possible, Dave. We wouldn't be here without you, but somebody needs to come alongside you sometimes, and this is the man that does. And I know that role has a tendency sometimes to be overlooked or not taken as seriously, but believe me when I tell you, Austin, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I understand you, and I'm rooting for you.
Thanks, James.
Okay. You're welcome, brother. I will leave it at that for you, my friend.
Thanks.
Do not make me cry again, Muller. Go ahead, Deb.
Austin, baby. Oh, behave.
Yeah.
So, the whole chicken, so does that make you finger looking good now?
I think that's somebody else's slogan. Pretty sure that's KFC's slogan. So I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
Now remember, Deb, HR is in the house.
You okay, David?
Yeah, I swallowed a piece of lamb and I thought Deb had more, so I had to mute myself there because wow,
Oh, I'm
started
sure
laughing.
Deb's got more.
She does. I got shut down by HR.
The big sister in the house. Wow. Okay. Whew. Austin Andrew Cunliffe of Swan, Iowa. I gotta tell you, man, we didn't talk for 2 years, but we picked it right back up where we left off. Rockies games, Broncos games. Still, you gotta promise me. I would use a term, but I won't use it here. You get like that again, you gotta tell me, or I'm driving my happy little ass up to you. You, in the last year, from where you were in March of last year to now, it's incredible. From the first time you spoke, or the first 2 times you spoke, to this one, maybe you should be the founder and president of New Beginnings. I mean, it's my vision, obviously.
No, that's you.
Yeah, I'm not. It's my
I'm not
mission.
taking your job.
No, it's my mission. But what I'm getting at is, bro, I am so fucking proud of you. And Joey knew you. And 19 years ago, yesterday, he told you, thank you for saving my baby brother. And I know in my heart of hearts, I've said a lot of people come close to Joey. But you are the one that has filled the role of a surrogate brother to me. I couldn't have gotten through 2018 if it wasn't having you here. When all the other friends said they were here, blah, 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 they're not here anymore, but you've always been here. I am so fucking proud of you. It's not even funny. So, recover, recover, recover. Stage right, stage right, stage right. Stage left, stage left, stage left. Reset. The hills are alive. Blah. Okay, that was Austin Cunliffe, ladies and gentlemen. An amazing soul. And before we go to another living legend, would anybody else like to pour into Mr. Austin? Sounds good. Oh boy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we know this man has high energy, has high octane, has a volume that I don't think has a low on it. But that's okay, because when James Mueller is quiet, I get worried and I get concerned. But this man has a way to pump everybody up. And yes, Sierra, I do agree. Ever since the arrival of baby girl Mueller, he is now at the bottom of the favorite Muellers. There comes baby Mueller, Mini James, Mrs. Mueller, and then James himself. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the hype man of Unleash You Now. This is the man that has so much energy that he could make even Scrooge McDuck smile. He has so much love and energy within his heart that he makes the mountains smile. He has become a brother of mine that I am honored to call him James Vravlik Mueller. And I am so excited that he is coming back for the 3rd time straight. James, James, James. Here we go, James. Here we go, James. Here we go, James. The summit is yours, brother.
Okay, where are we going, Dave? Where are we going, Dave? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? I know Dave's trying to hit that line the last 2 days. I'm just going to help him out a little bit. Before I even get started on what to get started with, Dave, thank you. 1, for putting this whole thing together. 2, for the invitations. 3, for repeatedly bringing people to the table that pour into other people. For bringing people to the table that make it about others and not themselves. For bringing people to the table that understand your mission, your vision, and to forward it. And I also want to shout out Austin, brother. I'm glad you went before, because it's a good segue to say, dude, like without you two, there is no this. And this keeps growing, and this has impacted more people than you might realize. So I just want to say thank you for that. Also, the opportunity to be here is pretty damn cool. So I want to thank you for the invite and not letting me say no. When you're in a place like this, whether it's virtually or in person, you don't necessarily realize how important it is to be here. And when I say be here, that's not only on this summit, but it's to be present. It's to be focused. It's to be dialed in. It's to be thinking about what you've heard over the last 3 or 4 days, or 2 or 3 days. It's what Dave talks about with passion. It's what Austin orchestrates behind the scenes and now in front of the camera. And it's the legacy in motion. It's taking steps forward through loss, through anything, right? And every single one of us that are here tonight, even the last day, yesterday and today, anybody who hits this mountain, you have to understand darkness to appreciate light. There is not a person on this screen that I know that I'm looking at that has not experienced darkness in some way. There's not a person that tunes in, that listens, and does not have pain that they're carrying with them, that does not have suffering from a loss of some kind in some way, shape, or form. And it's not even about sometimes family. It could be somebody that meant a lot to someone else. It could be a business that they're passionate about and don't know how to handle. But either way, the fabulous Martha said it herself, pain is pain. And if you know pain, you also appreciate, joy. You appreciate fulfillment. You appreciate what it is to truly be alive, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. I almost said no to being here. I almost canceled yesterday. I even thought about it this morning when he had asked. I've been going through some stuff. I've been handling some real stuff. I've been putting out fires and situations and dealing with things that I really don't think any normal human being should have to deal with. Because when it comes to relationships are meant to be thriving and healthy and connective. But when they're not, they can damage the identity of who you are. They can challenge everything that you think about. And the things that you thought were okay or you think are okay, you can wind up questioning them. Right? One thing about legacy, we're hearing legacy. And I love the fact that we're talking about legacy. And I love the fact that legacy is being spoken of not in the future, but in the present, because what we do today affects our tomorrow. And I love that because that's the truth. And some of us show up today, not great. Some of us show up today, 10%. Some of us don't show up at all. So if you show up for the day, 1, you're already winning. So it's a step in the right direction. It's not about the big gains. It's about the little wins. And when we think about legacy, it's not this beautiful picture of masterpiece that you hand down from, however you wanted to do it, whether it's a book or, intellect or generation or will or whatever. No, there's only one thing that goes with you when you die, and that's your character. Whatever you leave behind, anything you leave behind eventually dissipates and disappears, with the exception of the memories and values and behaviors that you demonstrated in your days while you're here. And that's something that people get confused about. Legacy isn't the end. It's the beginning and the middle. And one thing that I really want to make it pertinent, if it hasn't been said today, is legacy has a tendency to be written by other people's feelings about who we are and how we operate. Legacy has a tendency to be compromised if we are not being aware of what we want to do with our life, passion, and purpose. I love the fact that I'm hearing it's okay to not be okay. You're damn right it's okay to not be okay. It's also okay to be struggling at times. It's also okay to feel down and depressed and sad. It's okay to feel awkward and insecure and lonely. It's okay. It's part of the experience of life. But it's the choice of how we respond to these feelings that allow us to either build, crumble, or isolate. And guess what? I'm around family right now, and I can tell you that we don't always make the proper choices for ourselves. Sometimes we'll sit in that silence because we don't want to be a burden to somebody else, even though that somebody else has exactly what they can offer us to feel better or point us in the right direction or help lighten the load or lift the weight. But we'd rather carry it. We'd rather hold it in. We'd rather feel like we're not too much for anyone else. And trust me, I live this. As much as I preach other things, sometimes I live the thing that I don't want to do. How many people do that in this? How many people say that they're all about one thing, but then do something else? How many people say reach out, but then they don't reach out themselves? How many people say that they're fine when they're not in the middle of the situation? How many people are not fully transparent, open, and honest with who they are and how they operate? That's legacy, guys. Legacy isn't what you leave behind. It's what you refuse to drop while you're still here. And if you refuse to drop the negative stigma and the issues and the challenges and the self-doubt and the weight, if you carry that weight into the future, that's what people are going to remember you by. I love Dave to death. I do. There are so many awesome things I can say about Dave. And don't worry, it's not a setup to make fun of you. I see him looking at the screen. But you ever sit and listen to some of the introductions that go through when you're at events and how they intro people? Sometimes you're known as just that thing. Sometimes that's how you are, so that's how you operate. And I love David. You're right. I am loud. I am proud. I am high octane. I am high energy. I could blow the roof off of a building. I could blow the roof off the internet if the internet gave me a chance. But I also hurt. I also experience major doubt. I also suffer from things that I wish I didn't suffer from, just like every single one of us. And the biggest thing we run into in these scenarios, especially when we decide that we no longer want to operate in those levels and we start moving towards better or improvement of self or being in alignment with who we actually are, the people who are used to us operating that way all of a sudden have challenges and issues. The people that benefit from the level that you are right now don't like it because if you grow, there's a chance that they might not be able to access you the way that they have in the past. And sometimes the people who are closest to you decide that it's no longer an issue or you no longer are useful or you can no longer be controlled. So therefore you have to be either excommunicated or you get told or you get talked about or something happens to where the narrative shifts from instead of, oh, this was the guy who gave everything. Well, this was the guy who's selfish and didn't do anything. And why do I say that this is important? Because we don't hold on to things for no reason. We don't sit in issues for no reason. I don't think anybody in this room, whether it be virtual or wherever you're sitting, woke up and went, man, it'd be a really great day to be absolutely miserable today. I just want to be so damn sad. That's my goal today. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make everyone else sad because why not? Misery loves company, right? How many people inadvertently communicate their misery by not communicating how they really feel? How many people sit knowing that they're struggling, but don't want to share that they're struggling because they feel like they're going to ruin someone else's day? Oh, you're having such a great day. I hate to ruin that. Man, you know what? Or how many people like to diminish the situations that they go through? Like, I know I'm going through it, but you're going through it way worse than me. So there's no way that I'm going to share what's going on because I don't want that burden on you. And meanwhile, we hold ourselves grounded. And the legacy that's supposed to be emotions is now stuck. And I hate that word because it's not about being stuck. If we really look at it honestly, it's about being trapped by choice. When you think about where you are right now, and I see faces, and I love you guys, if you're here and anyone on Facebook or YouTube live streaming, just know this. Every single decision that you've ever made in your entire life has led you and brought you to this moment right now. Every bad decision, every good decision, every non-decision, every indifferent decision, anything that you've ever made put you here. The positive has inspired you. The negative has hurt you and or motivated you. And where you are now is exactly where you need to be, where you want to be. More importantly, where we're designed to be. So when we talk about designing your legacy and designing the impact and all of this fun stuff that you want to leave behind, all of your previous decisions led you to right here. And the last time I had the opportunity to speak on this summit, I told you about some of the health challenges with my heart. And I said that if I fell asleep, I wasn't guaranteed to know within my mind that I was going to wake up the next morning. And knowing that, was I okay going to sleep? If you go to bed at the end of today and you're not happy with what you could leave behind, you need to get present and you need to really sit down with yourself and figure out what's putting obstacles in your way. And 9 times out of 10, it's yourself. I want you guys to do me a favor. If you guys understand the weight of what I'm saying tonight, please throw some hearts in the chat. I'm an interactive person. I see and I feel energy in faces, and I know what's going on out there. Listen, the world is too damn miserable to sit here and pretend that things aren't okay. When you look at how you operate in your life, it's okay to not be okay, but what makes it worse is if you don't acknowledge that you're not okay. If you don't stand up and say, you know what, you're right, I need to reach out. I do need help. I love Kristen for saying what she said and did what she did today. That was powerful. There's somebody out there that could have used that or needed that, but missed it because they didn't feel like sitting in front of a TV screen or a computer. There's somebody out there right now that needs you. And I'm just going to be completely honest. If I have permission, I don't have permission, I don't care. There's somebody who needs you, but you're so far in your damn head that they're missing you. I've learned this from experience. I had a moment, and I didn't want to share this moment, but I'm going to share this moment. We were at the men's retreat in Orlando. And thankfully, I don't think any of the men are here other than Michael. And this is the guy, actually. We were closing out the weekend, and he was really, really setting the tone for impact. And he was really setting the tone for you know, like just the way things go and how things operate. And he said something really damn interesting. And he was like, how many people know James? And everybody raised their hand. Yeah, we know this guy. How many of you know what he does? You know how many people answered? 0. 1, he told the people that did know that they couldn't answer. He didn't want to give it away. But 2, it's a very profound point. Sometimes people can know who we are, but never know our mission, never know our passion, never know our statement, never know what we're created to be here for. And they might see you on the surface, and they might like you on the surface. But if I were to drop dead after that weekend, you know what I would have been to some of those people? Oh, man, dude, that was the MC. He was a really loud guy. I don't mind being remembered that way, but I'm more than that. If anybody's sitting in their seat right now, looking and listening to me, I want to bring clarity. You are more than what you think you are. Everybody says, get out of your own way and you'll be fine, but nobody shows you how to get out of your own way. The problem is you've been with yourself for so long, even when somebody says it, you can't acknowledge it because you don't see it as not normal behavior. We see it as self-preservation. We see it as protection. We see it as, no. I've learned a new word that I want to share with you guys. We always talk about authenticity and vulnerability being superpowers. It's important to be authentic. It's important to be real. It's important to be vulnerable. But we got to clarify vulnerable. There is a thing called selective vulnerability where you get to choose when to open up. You get to choose how you say what you say and feel in your experiences. And when you're selectively vulnerable, you can help other people, but other people can't help you because they don't know the things they need to equip themselves, to inspire you, to pour into you, to guide you, to encourage you. Some of us sit here and we just hit repeat all the time. We could say the right things, we can do the right things, but do we believe in this thing? Are we really here to inspire and impact, or are we here just to put on a face and saying that this is who I am and what I do and how I operate? And how does this tie into legacy? Well, listen, legacy is built in steps you don't take, but it's also built in steps you take after everything in you wants you to quit, stand still, and not move. If you've suffered a loss, a traumatic loss, friends, family, children, loved ones, siblings, we don't honor somebody by holding on to their absence. We honor them by living out what they gave us and the experiences that they poured into us and the bond that they've created within us. My sister is going to be gone 10 years in November, and I still hold on to memories because they're what keep me moving in certain areas. But you know what? It still hurts. Why does it still hurt? Because I'm still looking at it as an absence and not a gratefulness. I got 21 years with my sister. How we show up in everything is how we show up in anything. So if you're only half-assed showing up in some areas, I'm going to steal it. You got to tighten up. The intentionality about how we live life is so apropos. A lot of us are sitting here thinking about what we're going to do tomorrow. That's bold. You might not wake up tomorrow. So who the hell do you think you are? And I say that with all the love in the world. I hope we all wake up tomorrow and live out the rest of our week, our day. But when we say tomorrow is not promised, that's not a cliche word. That's straight fact. And I love that we have goals, and I love that we have aspirations, and I love that we're making moves towards our mission. But the problem is we're not making them bold enough. We're not making them confident enough. Do it scared, do it messy, do it sad, do it crazy, do it depressed, just do it. And I'm guilty of watching everyone else move the needle forward and sitting here and going, man, to quote one of my favorite songs from Three Doors Down, I wish I could be like that. I would give anything, right? Just to live one day in the shoes of somebody who looks like they have it all together. But newsflash, they're not transparent. They're falling apart. They only make it look like they have it all together so they can impress other people. What I also love about legacy, guys, is you have a choice to make within your legacy. Your legacy can be built and it can move forward, and you don't have to lower your standards to do it. There are so many people in the industry and in the space that take advantage because they want to make income and not impact. They want to tell everybody they got all the answers and then have none and then screw people over. And it makes it that much harder to come around to the person that you can genuinely help when they're so jaded by being messed up that they don't even want to trust you in the first place. So you got to work harder at your mission and harder at your goal. I avoid talking about myself, and it's something that I really got to dial in on, because when I don't talk about who I am, what I do, and how I operate, people miss out. People know me as the loud guy. That's an MC. That's awesome. That's just boisterous. The last 6-7 months, I've been showing everyone different sides of myself. Movement Maker Virtual, the second year when I got to MC and not only speak, I still have people talking to me about how they never knew that that side of me existed. That I wow, like the depth and the implications and the meaningfulness and how much you love your wife, how much you love your kids. It shows in everything that you do. And what's funny is I'm not about myself, but I'm about everyone else. I want everyone else to feel that. I want everyone else to succeed. I want everyone else to move forward. I'm so emphatic about it that sometimes I sit in my own suffering and will help other people to make sure that they cross their finish line or hit that goal. And I know there are other people out there that do the same damn thing because we want to see other people win so bad that we're willing to lose. Why? Why can't it be both? Why can't you win and help other people? Newsflash, you can. We just see it as selfish if we celebrate the win. It is not selfish to want to help another human being. It is not selfish to want to build a business. It is not selfish to want to charge for your services. In fact, 98% of entrepreneurs out there undercharge their services for fear of rejection. Quality brings quality, not quantity. Price yourself with your people. The people that resonate with you will flock to you. I promise you. I've lived it and I've seen it. But we got to get out of our own way. And I say that to say this. Right now, I've been in some battles. I have non-negotiables in my life. One of my non-negotiables is you do not get to dictate anything with my wife and kids. My family is the most beautiful thing that I will ever be entrusted to. It is my job as a man, both as a man in society and biblically, to protect, provide, comfort, instruct, and lead. No one else has that right. And if you feel like you have that right, we've got problems. I would much rather not talk to you for the rest of my life than ever let you entertain a thought into my family. My kids will never know what manipulative toxicity feels like because they will not be allowed to experience it to the best of my ability. But there are people out there that feel like they can do what they want and say what they want and act how they want. No. That same standard, that same fierceness, that same fire, that needs to be motivated also into the way I provide and operate in business for my family, because it's also one of the extensions of myself. Guys, your business, your purpose, your passions, they're extensions of you. Don't diminish them because they're a thing. They're your thing. They're your creation. That's what God built and buried deep into your soul. That's what needs to thrive. That's what needs to be as exciting and as interesting as you. And I see faces. I'm looking at every single person out there right now, and I know you guys are passionate, and I know you guys love, and I know you guys give, and I know you guys stretch, and I know you guys push it. But when we sit on calls and we talk about our business, sometimes we're just like, why? It's a beautiful thing. The things that you're doing to inspire others, to create other people's life, to impact it for the better is a beautiful thing. Why do we treat it like it's a closet freaking scam? Why do we sit here and assume that it's just average? It's not average. Guys, nobody's going to be able to do it the way that you can. So show up in the only way you know how. Don't act like anybody else. Just step into the best version of yourself. And by best, whatever that feels like today. If it's 100%, it's 100%. If it's 5%, it's 5%, but it's something. You guys work too hard, you're too passionate, and you're too dedicated not to succeed in the things that you're pursuing. So I say that to say this. If you were to go to sleep tonight, would you be okay with how you handled your legacy today? Would you have inspired your kids to be better than you? Would you have inspired other people to follow your mission? Would you have been someone that you would have followed into the battleground? Would you have been the person you would have ran to for support? Intentionality is everything, guys. Okay? Intentionality is everything. And how you live now is the loudest thing that's going to be left behind. So do me a favor. When you go to sleep, wake up tomorrow and live if you wake up. There are too many people that need you. There are too many people that know you, that don't know you exist. And there are too many people out there that need help. And until you find them, don't stop looking. Because that's how you really build your legacy, is how you connect with everything and everyone else around you. And that is how you change the world. Thank you, Dave.
James. Powerful, brother. I'm going to answer your question that you asked all of us. If you asked me that 10 years ago, the answer would have been no. But if you asked me today, the answer would be yes. 10 years ago, I didn't know what my purpose in life, I didn't know what I'm doing here is not a profession. It's a obsession to me because I want to help, I want to serve, I want to be there for those who have been through what we have all been through. So I'll come up with a new terminology for that down the road. 10 years ago, I was working for an organization that I'll keep confidential for now. But I'm in a completely different space now. As much as I would love to have Joey here with me, the one biggest lesson I took from losing him is living in the now. And before I hand this over to our VIP group, I'm going to be reaching out to you. I need you to make me a promise. I know a lot of people reach out to you because we love and care about you, but I need you to make me a promise. Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart to my message, or just give me a one-word answer. Okay?
I've got to hear this promise first, buddy.
That's the promise. That's all I need to know. I just want you to know. I just want you to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Whatever. That's the promise. I want you to just let me know if there's anything I can do for you.
Oh, absolutely. I can let you know.
Okay? Because I know when you go into protective mode, which you absolutely do amazing at, you don't need to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't know who had, you lovely ladies are beautiful and all, but we're going to let Mr. Faber go first.
Oh, shit.
I was really hoping you let me go last.
I would have rather him go. But okay.
All right. So my question still is, how many people know what James does? All right, one. I think we're being a little quiet still.
I know what James does.
I think we can still make noise.
I know what he did last summer.
I don't even know if Josh really knows. I don't know if Sierra really knows. I think they're just trying to be.
Do you know if James really knows?
I know. I'm just going to mute myself right here.
All right. Yeah. I don't know if James really knows what he does.
James is so good that when people say, James, what do you do? He just turns right back at him and goes, well, what do you need? That's how good he is.
I don't really know what James does. But it's important for us to know what James does, because if James does it, he's good at it. But man, we can't even be served because James so quiet. James wasn't quiet today, was he?
Nope.
Nah, man, he had people's attention today.
Yep.
That could be James every day. James just has to pick that. That's James. It's just him. He just has to let himself be him. When he does that, man, it's pretty special. Many ways.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate
All right, beautiful
that.
ladies. Let's go with Sierra.
I'm gonna be nice to you today.
Oh, just today.
You
Sometimes.
know, sometimes. We've known each other for about a year now, and you have held space for me in different capacities and have shown up for me in so many ways. And I love seeing this version of you because it's the truest version of you. When you started talking about your family and the protection and provision that you want to provide, that was the real James, right? And I get to see a lot of the real James, just because that's the relationship we have and we trust each other. And I've told you this from almost the first few conversations we had. You're one of the first men that I actually trust, and that's a big deal for me. And I go to you for things and you're always willing to hear me out and let me be crazy and let me be emotional, and let me be funny. And, and let us have misunderstandings, but we always repair. And I think more people need to see the James that I get to witness and experience, because that's my favorite James. That's my favorite version. And you might jump up to the favorite Mueller if you do that.
Mike, got it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate who you are. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you too.
That is a tall order with that little girl that he's got jumping to the top of the order. Holy moly. Go ahead, Jeff.
So I would be really remiss if I didn't start out with thank you, James.
It wouldn't be you if you didn't. You're welcome, Jeff.
As always, when you show up, you show out. And a lot of times, it might be appropriate for you to show up as the loud, the boisterous, the MC. Okay. But you always show up as you. Okay. The man, the myth, the legend sometimes, right? And when you are authentic and when you are speaking from that true space, when you're not trying to hide behind things, because we all like to hide sometimes, don't get me wrong. You're preaching to the choir, not guru on high, never have been, never will be, right? But you move people and you can tell people stories in ways that no one else can. You are a true friend, and it'd be nice if you allowed other people to be a true friend to you.
Mic drop.
Thank you, Jeff. I received that.
I love you.
Love you
Receive
too,
it,
buddy.
now accept it.
And I accept it. Just because it's Jeff, not because Dave said so.
Go ahead, Deb. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. I didn't mean to cut you off. No, go ahead if you had something you wanted to add. Okay. Go ahead, Deb.
Okay, first, Tish, HR, look the other way. Okay, now that she's not looking. Hey, baby.
Hello, darling. I was hoping I'd get this tone from you.
So I understand. I'm not going to ask how you're doing, baby, because I understand you got some stuff going on. And at the risk of plagiarism, or I'll just say quoting great work, per every airline everywhere, if you want to assist others, you must secure your own oxygen mask first. And the second one comes from Stuart Smalley Saves His Family. No, not the little cartoon mouse. We're talking the Al Franken. Sometimes it is easier to put on a pair of slippers than to try and carpet the entire world. Love you, baby.
Love you too, Deb. Thank you.
Secure the oxygen mask first. That's great advice, Deb. Austin, what you got, buddy?
James, thank you for all of your wisdom and knowledge. I follow you on social media, and you, when something's going wrong in your life, you post about it. And that's, thanks for just being real. But I've noticed that, and I'm guilty of this too, is we let ourselves get in our way. So I want you to get yourself better, and get out of your own headspace, because I know something big is about to happen in your life, and it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to see it.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, man. And I'm definitely working on the ladder on that.
You know, James, thank you, Austin. Thank you, everybody. James, I've always known you're a fiercely protective father, husband, brother, friend. Seeing that coming out of your eyes at that point, talking about your family and about those around you, I still get the goosebumps. I could feel that level of fierceness and protectiveness. It was like a lion coming out of you. You are incredibly strong, and it's not the physical strength on the outside, it's the inner strength. And you are an incredible man, father, husband, son, and brother. And if you would have texted me, you know me, I would have understood. Thank you for having the courage, the strength, and to be vulnerable with all of us tonight. That was
Thank you.
absolutely incredible. You're welcome.
Mary's got her hand up.
I saw that. Go ahead, Mary.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
We can hear
I
you.
can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. James, I'm so glad you showed up. And I'm gonna reach out to you more because I have a feeling we're very similar when we go quiet. So yeah, I'm reaching out to you, but I'm so glad you showed up for tonight. And thank you for pouring into us. I love you. And that's it.
Oh, I love you too, Mary. And Dave, 2 seconds and then I'll go. But I showed up because I'm just gonna do this the best way I can. I showed up because of Jeff, because of Mary, because of Tish, because of Michael, because of Austin, because of Tim, because of Ashley, because of Sierra, because of Lauren, because of Josh, because of Deb. Everyone that's in this room in these summits, you all have impacted me in some way. My 2-hour car ride from Delaware to PHL, where I got to get real close with Ashley, just hanging out and having awesome conversations. My conversations with Tim at Movement Maker Virtual, my conversation with Josh, anytime I run into Lauren, either online or not, or in events, Deb online, Tish, when she pops in, man, she rocks my world in a good way. Mary, and even you, dude, like the people around you matter. And you guys give me space to come in to be me. And I don't think you understand how amazing that is, because there is not many places in the world that allow you to be yourself. And I want to say thank you, all of you. And I want to say thank you for allowing me to be me in areas that not a lot of people would listen to, so to speak. This is why we climb mountains. It's not easy, but it is worth it. And when the people around you are worth it, it makes the journey that much more memorable. So thanks, Dave.
You're welcome, brother. Proud of you, man. And I'll be texting you tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and even on my birthday. So you're going to be hearing from me a lot. And trust
Anytime.
me, Austin knows this about me. I can be persistent and annoying. So I love you.
and stubborn.
And stubborn.
Yeah.
You didn't have to add that in. He just wants the final word. Anywho. Well, here we are, y'all. We're just at the ridge of the summit. We brought, James brought the heat. Everybody has brought the heat, and it has been absolutely incredible. Our next and final speaker of our 7th summit of Journey Forward with Every Step, Legacy in Motion, is a young lady that I have come to adore as a little sister. My first encounter with Mrs. Ashley Burkeen was at Movement Maker Virtual 2024. Here I was, standing off to the side, enjoying a delicious cigar. And I didn't want to stand by everybody because not everybody enjoys cigars and the smoke around them. So as a polite gentleman, I decided to stand off in the darkness and enjoy it. Now, it could be a little weird that I was in the darkness, but everybody could see me because of the Green Mountain. And here comes Ashley walking over and started to have a conversation. And it was off the charts incredible. And over the last couple of years, it just has been a privilege to getting to know Ashley. Every time she comes back to the summit, when I send out the invitation saying, hey, do you want to come back to the Mountain Summit Virtual? Within 3 to 5 seconds, I get an immediate yes. And her costumes at MML are incredible, especially the last one. She was like a big orange bowling ball coming down the hallways of the Gaylord. I don't remember what it was, but it was incredible. But Lorax, that's right. Ashley has a great, outstanding, beautiful personality. She has a laugh that can make anybody laugh. And as I always love to say whenever I talk about Ashley and introduce her, she loves her chickens. And with that being said, Ash, the summit is yours.
Thank you, David. So, as you know, and I say this every time, David, I was not grieving until you started inviting me to your summits to speak. And then I was grieving through that. So you and the summit has been a huge part of my process in grieving and mourning the loss that I had to endure. And so for those of you that don't know, I have been grieving, but suffering from something called compound grief and loss. So I had 3 very significant deaths in a very short period of time. And then it just kept coming and coming, right? More deaths of all kinds of animals and people of significance to me all in a row, right? And so you don't get time to heal or even start grieving in between those. So it just kind of stacks up on you. I knew that, although I'm honored to be the last one, I knew that maybe something that I would share would be repetitive from the last 2 days. And I was okay with that. Because what I know is that to be repetitive means that you guys will remember it. So if you hear it more than once, it's a great thing, right? And then James went. And if I could request to never have to go after him again, I would really appreciate it. Because, whoa, now I'm nervous. But I'm going to do the best that I can. James, love you, love your heart. And yeah, but that would be my one request. You could let him rock start without me after him, if that's okay. But I wanted to talk to you guys about the journey that I'm on in my grieving process and where I have come now, like I have in the last summits, right? So you guys are along this journey with me, and every time David has me speak, I speak on something that I'm experiencing in that real time. And so I want to talk about the quiet ways that grief changes you, right? And we know, and we've said, we've heard it before, that your life is never the same after you lose somebody, because that's a relationship of significance that's no longer there, right? There are things in daily routines and processes and memories. Well, you hold on to them just with memories, but your whole life changes because that person of significance is no longer a part of your life, right? But you also change too. And the wildest part of grief wasn't for me necessarily the loss, right? Because I was expecting that. The people that I lost were sick. We knew it was coming. It was more of a release, a relief that they weren't struggling anymore, right? But it was who I was becoming while I was trying to survive it, and how I didn't even notice it was happening. And so maybe that is you, right? And so I'm going to share, like I do normally, my personal experiences and stories. And if that relates to you, great. And I hope that it does. So have you ever looked back and thought, when did I become this version of me? Like, when did this person, who are you? Right? When did you arrive here? Because see, grief doesn't knock, it moves in. It becomes a squatter. Okay. And I don't know if you know much about squatters, but sometimes they're unwelcome guests, right? Sometimes they destroy the environment from within. And it's a process to have to remove a squatter from the space. And grief is a squatter. See, I thought I was prepared for what was coming. Like I said, the people that I lost, they were sick, right? They were going through it. I knew that was coming. My dad was dying from pancreatic cancer, and I saw him. He was jaundiced for the last 3 months of his life. My husband and I, the night that he passed away, my husband and I had to go and get him up off the floor. And same with my grandma, right? She was sick. So I knew that was coming. And I know 3 things are for certain in life, right? Death, taxes, and my ability to pick the crappiest cart at the grocery store every single time. All right. So those are givens, right? Those are things that I'm certain of. But see, I also am a very, I've been doing a healing journey since before 2020. And so I'm a very self-aware person. And the problem with being self-aware is that you make excuses for your behaviors sometimes, right? And so I'm handling my healing from trauma and all this over here, great. But whenever the grief came, that's not the same. We're going to compartmentalize it. We're going to put it over here and we're just going to forget about it. That's not the same as what I'm doing over here, what I'm doing over here and dealing with, right? But I want to give you the definitions of trauma and grief, because there's similarities, right? Trauma is a distressing response to events that overwhelm an individual's ability to cope, causing long-lasting negative effects on functioning, emotions, physical health, and psychological health. Grief: intense psychological, emotional, and physical anguish or sorrow following a loss, typically of a loved one. They are running parallel with each other, but in my mind, they were different. Okay. Now there's subtle signs of grief, right? You stop reaching out. I've never been a person to reach out. That's not me. I have so many thoughts, so many things going on, right? I'm that person that, like, if you reach out to me, I'm there all day, but I just don't reach out, right? Hyper independence. Guys, hyper independence is not the flex that you think it is. Okay. If God wanted us to be overly independent, he wouldn't have made all these people, right? He would have just made you and the plants and the trees and the mud. There wouldn't be all these people. There's all these people here for a reason. Okay. You laugh less or differently. In your grief, have you ever sat back and you finally get that good gut laugh and you're like, oh, I don't know when the last time I laughed like that was, right? You feel disconnected in rooms where you belong in. You know, I live and breathe business. I've been doing that for 10 years. I am the expert and the authority in rooms for business, and I didn't want anything to do with it. I would walk into rooms that I've been in a million times and with these people that I love and have great relationships with, and I didn't want to be there. This wasn't my place anymore. And that was a hard pill to swallow. You get tired, but not the kind of tired that sleep can fix, right? You become the strong one. People stop checking on you. And that's me. I've mentioned that before. I've always been the strong one. See, grief doesn't look like falling apart all the time. Sometimes it looks like holding it together way too well. Right? See, like I said, that was me. I didn't share about the death. Like when my grandma passed away, I didn't make a Facebook post until the 2-year anniversary of her death. I didn't want the attention, right? I didn't want the, oh, how are you? Or prayers your way, right? Because I know that those are things that people just say. And some people that know her didn't know me, right? I just know that those are the right things to say. I'm also an empath, and I was afraid that if they shared their memories and their sadness, that I was going to pick up on that and it was going to force me to feel that. Because what we think grief looks like is stages. Oh, there's stages, right? This, and this happens. Okay. There's a timeline. Well, if I take a month, it'll be okay. First of all, get real. A time, really? This person's probably been in your life for a long period of time, and then it's just going to take a month or two or maybe a year. There's this trend on TikTok, this dark humor trend on TikTok that was going around where the first picture would say, I don't know how I can live without you, Dad. And the next picture would be a picture of the dad, and it was a snarky post, and it'd be a picture of the dad with the bubble, and it would say, girl, I passed away 10 years ago. It's time to move on, right? It was this dark humor thing. It doesn't work like that. It's crying or sadness, right? I know lots of people that don't cry. I didn't cry whenever I initially heard that they passed away. I didn't cry for a long time. I didn't cry until I was alone and heard a song or like it was a specific moment, right? It's not linear. It's not clean. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't follow a checklist, right? There's no book. It rewrites your personality in real time. Okay. And I don't know about you, but my grief happened well after social media was around. And my first kick in the teeth of my personality change was memories on my social media that were coming up. Because although I'm still out there dancing and making TikTok videos and making funny posts and being snarky and trolling the haters, right? If you look at the memories that came up before I had all this loss in my life, my energy is different. My complexion and my face is different, right? The way that I'm presenting myself is different. And you can see it. I can see it. That was the first kick in my teeth where I was like, dang, I look good. What happened? Who is she? Right? Waking up was a struggle for me. And I'm a 4 a.m. I have ADHD, so I don't really sleep, right? I have to go to bed at 8 p.m., which is going to pass my bedtime, David, in 10 minutes. I have to go to bed at 8 p.m. just to kind of counteract the time, because I know at midnight my ADHD is like, let's party and think about the most ridiculous thing ever in life and then stay up till 3, right? So I don't sleep anyways, but I was always up at 4 a.m. and always, like, specifically on the weekends, on Saturday and Sunday, I'd be cleaning my house, listening to music, 90s mom music, right? I don't do that anymore. The alarm goes off and I just am like, gosh, I'd rather just lay here for the rest of my life. Okay. Creativity. And I remember talking to Michael on a call and being like, him asking me, where's your posts? Why aren't you posting? Why are you being consistent? Right. And me just being like, I can't be creative right now. And that's crazy because I thrive off creativity. That's what feeds me. Everything in my life I'm a visionary, right? So I run off of being a visionary and being creative, not artistic. Don't confuse the two. Don't ask me to draw or paint. Can't do it. Finger paint, maybe. Like those were personality traits that were significant of me, that there was a drastic change. And I didn't even know it was happening until I was able to look from the outside in. And I struggled with 3 really big things. And the first one is denial. Okay. I was on autopilot. There was a numbness there. See, I wasn't okay. I just was making sure that I was unavailable. Because if I was unavailable, you could ask if I was okay. You couldn't see I wasn't okay. So you were getting blurbs of me. You weren't actually getting me. I was probably operating at 50% capacity of who I actually am. I was functioning, but I wasn't feeling. And I'm a crybaby. I'm a Cancer sign. I'm born in July. I'm super sensitive, right? Like I can't help but, I mean, I cried at the Snuggle commercials with the bear when he falls in the basket. Okay. But that wasn't happening. I refused to feel any kind of emotion. And I think I might have told this story before, but you know, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, it has a way to punch you in the mouth and give you signs. And I am the kind of person that when I drink maybe a handful of times all year long, right? I'm a social drinker, whatever. And it's probably a good thing because I would go broke, because I'm the kind of person that drinks and is like, shot for you, party, right? I'm a loving, I want to dance and love on you. And then it takes a turning point where I'm a philosopher and I want to heal you from all your problems. Like, who am I? Right? But it's always positive and light and fun. Well, when I was going through this, those feelings that I was falling down, when I was drinking, I became a crying, sad drunk. And that is very out of form for me, right? Those were my signs. And my poor husband, every time we leave wherever we were, I wouldn't do it during, but on the drive home, and we live far away from everybody, I would just cry about irrelevant problems that weren't mine to even have, but I would sob about it, right? I struggled with food. And here's the thing too, is that other people will notice you're struggling, right? Even if you're not asking for help, even if you're the strong one. And it's just the ones that have the balls to really call you out on it and be like, hey, I'm noticing. With my ADHD, I struggle with my relationship with food as it is. That's a deep struggle for me, but I really work hard at it, right? And then social media gave me reminders, and I can see it now. But I was at a event with my best friend, her husband, and my best friend's husband came up to me and he said, Ash, did you eat today? Right? And I just looked at him like, why are you asking me that? And he's like, you just don't look well. You look sickly. You're not your normal, right? And I'm little. I'm 5'4", but I was 105 pounds at the worst of this. Okay, and I have a big head, so I'm walking around out here looking like Tyrannosaurus Rex with my big head and my little body. Okay, and I'm thinking nobody's noticing that I'm struggling so yes, Jeff, that I'm struggling so bad that I'm not eating, that I'm not taking care of me. I gave up on me. Okay. I walked the yard, and when I ground, because some days were better than the others, right? We all know that. And when I would go outside and ground and be with nature, which is where I feel good, that's my church. And I listen to worship music, and I cry when I listen to worship music in church. But whenever I ground, it's the music, right? It's part of the ambiance. I would go to ground and I would listen to worship music, and I would sob and drop to my knees. And that was the Holy Spirit being like, girl, let it out. It is time, right? You don't have to show anybody right now, but let it out. It's time. Right? I wouldn't make it very far. The other thing that I really struggled with was depression. And again, I have mental health struggles. I know what this is about. I'm also educated in that arena, right? But again, I was compartmentalizing. That's not this. Okay, this is just going to go away. I'm just going to move on from it. And my depression showed up as withdrawal and exhaustion. Okay, not necessarily sadness, right? Because there was a relief, right? They were no longer in pain. They were with God and everybody else that we loved and lost. But there was a numbness and a loss of interest. Okay, so those years I was so unavailable that I stopped gardening. I love my garden, right? And that was something that people were like, oh, it's so much work. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's great work. It's fun. What do you mean? I also am a big party thrower. I love events, right? I was on the board of directors for events for our company. I used to have the biggest Halloween party every year where people would plan their Halloween costumes in like July and be like, you're having your party this year, right? I stopped doing that. I host most of the events at my house for our family. Had no interest in doing that. I was such a party planner and event planner, and I got so much joy of it that my husband put me on a budget at one time for our kids' parties because it's so detailed. It's like one of those Pinterest boards where you're like, oh my gosh, the water bottles are relabeled with the kid's face on it. That's the kind of event person I was. That was fed my creativity. I had fun with it, brought me joy. Didn't do any of that stuff. None of it. Okay. So I lost interest in things that fed me. Anger. See, I thought when people talked about anger and grief, they talked about punching holes in the walls, right? And I'm not that kind of angry person. So I was like, never me. I'm not angry. But my anger showed up as irritation and being easily triggered. And I have ADHD and we have triggers, right? But I know how to work through those and I know what those are and when to recognize them. But I had misplaced anger. And I'm going to tell you a story that it's not my proudest moment, but my son checks me because our kids do that for us, right? When we become grown adults, they check us and put us in our place. And I needed that day. So we were at Walmart one day. And when you go to leave Walmart, I don't know if this happens where you live, but it happens where I live. They check your receipt now. Okay. The audacity of them to check their receipt. Okay. And they had to check my receipt and I lost my mind. I was rude and disrespectful and was like, just outwardly passive aggressively, like, this is so ridiculous. I don't pay for a membership like Sam's Club. I shouldn't have to do this. Like, why are they about, right? Just ridiculous. Okay. It took 10 seconds for them to check my receipt. It was uncalled for. And after we walked out the door, my son said to me, Mom, what is your deal? And I said, what? That's ridiculous. We shouldn't have to do that. And he said, when I said, I spend so much money here, if I'm going to steal, I'm not going to pay my bill first, right? Like I spent $400 there, I'm not going to steal. And he said, no, you were just rude and mean for no reason. What did that take from you to spend 10 seconds and let the lady look at your receipt? And by the way, Mom, she's like an elderly woman. Guys, who checks the receipts at Walmart? The elderly. So I'm yelling at an elderly woman, upset and disrespectful to an elderly woman who, by the way, is just doing her job. And I'd imagine there's other people like me out there, right, that don't know better, that are also treating her that way. So she probably hates this part of her day. And I just added to her stress. Right? He checks me. And in that moment, I stood there and I thought to myself, like, he is so right. What is wrong with you? This is not who you are. You could care less about this. This has no impact or effect on your life, negative or positive. It's just like walking. It's like breathing. You give them the receipt, they check it, they probably don't even look at it, and then they let you go. It's just their job. They're just doing their job. And that was a sad moment for me. And I'm glad that my son was able to check me because he's been given that permission. Because here's the other wild thing that I realized that day is, although I have childhood trauma and I'm gradually healing through that and will be healing forever, my kids don't know what that trauma is like. And so they walk through life with a clean slate while I'm healing. And so I embrace every moment that they have something to say and say, Mom, this isn't right. And you're not acting right. I embrace that every single time because it was wrong. See, I wasn't angry at the world. I was angry that my world had changed and I didn't give it permission to. Things were going great. I was in my healing journey. I was thriving. I was making moves. I had a future to look forward to, and then dead stop. My whole personality was changing. And I didn't even realize it until I did. So there's an identity shift that happens that we don't think of, right? We don't even know that is happening. So who did I become? Who did you become in your grief? Have you recognized the moments that you're like, oh, I could do better, or oh, that didn't feel like me? So there's versions of you that exist before and after. And I will tell you that you can get some of those things back, right? So all my hobbies, all the things I loved, I'm doing them again this year, and I'm excited and I look forward to them, right? You don't necessarily always go back to who you used to be, but you become someone new, and a new version of me. I had a spiritual awakening, right? And I remember a mentor saying to me, your grief is so significant that you're spiritually awakening and you're even finding who you are more at depth. I read the Bible in the whole year. I put people in my life like you guys and Michael Faber and the Blue and Green to check on me when I go silent. I wasn't used to that. They still to this day do this, right? When I need to vent or talk some smack to feel better, I reach out to Michael Faber and he listens, then he comes, corrects me, right? So grateful for that because that's not who I used to be, but the new version knows I need help and I need community and I can't be the strong person anymore. That's who I was. That's not who I am. And there's an acceptance that takes place, right? You have to accept it and receive that. So your story's not over. You're just going to carry it differently. It just looks different. And you're not at peace with what happened, right? But you're at peace with continuing on anyways and living anyways. So acceptance isn't letting go. It's leaving. It's learning how to hold it without holding yourself hostage. And I was holding myself hostage by not feeling and avoiding and being in denial and not responding to the depression I was feeling and being angry and not dealing with that. There's permission and then there's awareness, right? So I want you to think about when you're looking at where your personality is now through grieving is, what are your reactions like? I told you my reaction to the sweet lady at Walmart. I feel terrible about that. I am so nice now when I go in there. I am all smiles, have a great day, check every item, unbag it if you want to, right? Whatever you want. I feel so bad. Make it right, right? Your energy changes. My energy, I saw it in videos. I had the luxury of being able to see it, right? Now I can feel it when the energy shifts happens. And then your patterns. What are the patterns that are changing for you? So the permission is to be guilt-free. You're allowed to be who you are and not who you were. That's okay. You're allowed to feel differently than others do about it, right? Maybe a lot of people grieve the same person. It doesn't have to align or compare to everybody else's. You're allowed to heal without explaining it. You don't have to rush your healing just because the world is uncomfortable with your pain. And this is a conversation I had with my sister And so if you want to lore about my sister, we didn't talk for 2 years. I set some significant boundaries. In the middle of not talking for 2 years, we lost my dad, who is really my stepdad, but he raised me since I was 18 months old. So it's really her dad. Our relationship were not the same in that with my dad. He was a narcissist. And so in the triangulation, I was the scapegoat. My sister was the golden child. So very different experiences with him. She is not handling it well. So we reconnected a couple months ago, and I'm really grateful and blessed that I did. And we were able to reconnect, and I was able to let those boundaries down because she had enough growth and was able to not be overly emotional, not enter it with emotions, but with logic. And I'm really grateful I am, because I have a great relationship with my niece and nephew again, and they were over here, and we had a sleepover, which is crazy. But my sister's not handling it well, losing my dad. And I'm glad that I get to be there for her now, because she feels like a burden on people. She can't stop crying. She'll call me at 1 o'clock in the morning. And what I learned about my sister is that she just wants somebody to listen. She doesn't want to hear about what I'm feeling about it or what anybody else is. And I feel like a lot of people she reaches out to give that to her, their opinions, or, oh, live through him and all those things. She doesn't want that, right? She just wants somebody to listen to her. And it's actually helping me heal with my dad, because we have memories though together, although different, but still together. And here's where this legacy piece comes in. So, and I think I've mentioned it before, that I'm the most like my dad out of all of my siblings. I am the outdoorsy person. I like to hunt, fish. I have animals, live on a farm. He was the farm guy in Iowa and then northern Missouri, right? He's the reason why we had hunting dogs and Brittany Spaniels, all the things. And so I'm the most like him. And he used to say, it's crazy that we don't share DNA, but you're like a copy paste of all of my interests. And my sister's very pretty, a varsity cheerleader, right? Would wake up at 5 a.m. to get ready for middle school. And I'd be like rolling out of bed to go to high school in sweatpants and a hoodie. So very different personalities. And then there's my niece, and my sister's, one of her biggest struggles right now is that my niece, who's only 4, only got 4 years with our dad. And my dad was always great with kids, not so great teenagers, but my dad was always great with kids, right? And all the grandkids loved him. And then she's pregnant right now. So I have another niece on the way, which is super exciting, but she's really struggling with being pregnant because my dad will never know her baby. And I had to say to her, Dad knew her first. Dad met her right now. What do you mean? Like, Dad's making sure that she's going to make it out okay and that we get to see her beautiful face. He's gotten to see her face before we do, before the ultrasound did, right? And so my niece remembers my dad now. My sister's afraid she'll forget my dad. And so when they were having a sleepover, we were talking about the animals, and I was telling my niece about different facts about turkeys and goats and all the animals here. And she said to me, this is why I miss Pawpaw. She's 4. She's the brightest 4-year-old, by the way, I've ever met. She said, this is why I miss Pawpaw. And I said, Ray, well, he's here. And she said, I know he's in my heart, but who's going to teach me all the things about animals like Pawpaw did? And I was like, oh, and she looked at me and she said, will you teach me? Right? That was a big moment, because in that moment I realized, like, oh, this is why. This is why I people pleased him my whole life and became so much like him, trying to people please him, that I enjoy those things. And this is God's plan, is that he's no longer here, but I'm the one that has this relationship with these kids, and I get to carry that on for him. And I get to express to them, what the farm life's like and what it's like to be outdoors. And I get to be that piece for them that they're going to remember in him. And I get to continue those experiences that they would have had with him, just in a different way. And that was impactful and significant. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of our dad passing. And I tried to get my sister on this call, but she's just not ready for that right now. So hopefully one day, that's my plan, David, maybe even in person, we can climb the mountain together, because she is struggling, and I know that. But I'm very happy that, again, to you, David, and this whole community, because I don't know if I would have arrived here just within, since the very first one that I did, if it wasn't for you and kind of forcing me to feel it and get out of the denial headspace. And then being surrounded by you guys who care and reach out and I know are there for me. So I'm going to close with this. If you're in that right now, right, and you're in denial or depression, wherever you are in that space, and you don't recognize yourself, that doesn't mean that you're lost. it means that you're in the middle of becoming someone who survived something that they didn't deserve. And one day, you'll look back and you'll realize that you didn't make it through grief. You learned how to live with it without losing yourself completely. And I hope that for every single one of you. Thank you, David.
Ashley, Ashley, Ashley. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely powerful. I'm going to let Deb go before me because I'm going to save myself for last. Deb, go ahead.
What can
And
I
then-
say, Ashley, other than, hey, baby?
I got one.
I swear, you said it earlier, probably after I talked or what have you, and now I'm going to say the same thing. We are family. We reincarnated family, tribe. We seek each other out. We hook back up in whatever incarnation we're rolling around in. And yes, we are. We are family. I got Ashley's chickens with me. Okay.
Love it. Thank you.
Anyway, love you.
Thank you, Deb. Let's go with Josh.
Ashley, I just have to say that your level of self-awareness is both brilliant and beautiful. And I think that being willing to see yourself so clearly helps others to see mirrors of themselves in you in a way that's profoundly healing and profoundly helpful.
Thank you. That means so much.
I appreciate you so much every time I hear you speak. Each time reveals new layers, new depth, and it's just such a privilege to be able to listen, to learn, and to just share your experiences and what you've learned from them. So thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank
Sarah,
you.
go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, I'm very impressed in the growth of your speaking and storytelling. Even with the ADHD, it was all organized and very like it flowed really well. And you said a lot of things that I can um associate with, right? Like I felt like you were talking about me in some ways with a lot of the stuff you were saying. So I just I love hearing you talk. I remember seeing you on stage at MML and I said, I need to know her, and I'm glad I pursued that and I'm glad that we became friends and that, you hold space for me, I hold space for you, we make each other laugh, we're silly all the time and no, it's been nice knowing you.
Thank you. Love you so
Love you
much.
too.
Go ahead, Tim.
Ashley, dear, thank you so much for being you. And I love the fact of how much I'm getting to know you. All right. And don't let Austin out there because he'll eat the whole chicken. Not half the chicken. He'll eat the whole chicken. He's told us that. But man, you clicked with me today. All right. And made me want to correct some of my ways again. And I love that because I need a check sometimes. All right. And it's so good to have friends like you who make you do a check. All right. And we don't have to list it. What we're going to check with, just know that you put something in Tim's head to go, okay, check, need to fix that. Thank you so much. And I think that's part of what I was saying today. We need to tell our story because sometimes it needs to be, we need to hear it from different people. And I'm glad I got to hear it from you today. And again, I'm going to publicly thank you again for last night. You helped my day go a lot better by sharing 5 minutes and knowing my problem. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I look forward to watching our friendship grow for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim. What do you got for us, Mr. Jeff?
Yeah.
Ashley, I still love you, and you know I love you. What I really appreciated from this talk is the reminder that we're not going to be the same afterwards. And I too see posts and things from when I first started my journey and to now And I go, wow, a lot of the best stuff you guys see was actually from 10 years ago. I promise you. The stuff that everyone reacts to, really, I wrote 10 years ago. And I see that a lot, right? I see a lot of the, my words are different, my things are different, my speech patterns, my face, all of it is changed. And I appreciate you bringing that out and it being, it's okay. And it's a new different, it's a new normal. And Mike talked about it in the last mountain. So it was that permission to allow that space and to explore that new person differently and not look at them as like, oh, I have to go back to that one because that's, so who are you now? And just explore and get to play and get the love who that person is. So thank you. I'm glad that you're getting back to your stuff. I also am the new elder. So one of the reasons I stayed in Michigan is because, you know, after both my parents died, the nieces, especially, I have 3 nieces that really were like very close to my mom. Or one, everyone was close to my mom, but one was really close to my dad too. And so it was, you know, they needed a new elder. And I am not as abrasive as my older sister. So my older sister's, she's a powerhouse. She's not the nurturing one. She's the one that's gonna get everything done. She's a bulldozer.
Bulldozer, I like it. Love you, Jeff. Thank you.
So I appreciate you. And we need to talk soon.
Yes. Yes.
Jeff, absolutely beautiful. Ash, absolutely beautiful. You are amazing. From the very first summit that you were on to now, every time you tell me that I forced you to face these emotions around your grandmother and the challenges that you were facing with your family at the end of last year and the Zoom call and the conversation that you and I had after a group call, that's why I treasure what I do. And to see you doing the things and hearing you doing the things that you love to do is exactly why MBM and the Mountain Summit Virtual is here and will remain to stay here. You are off the charts incredible. As I told May yesterday with her smile, that's going ear to ear with what she's doing in her life. Keep doing that with yours because your smile is stretching from ear to ear. And just thank you for always being here and being a part of what we're building here. And as we get ready to wrap up our 7th summit, there's one little thing I want to do before we wrap this thing up. James, can you hear me? And if you can, I need you to turn your screen on. Going once. Going twice. He's busy. So with that being said, Ash, Sierra, but if you would put the phone down for me, please. And Jeff. I'm going to pass something to the 3 of you. And it's something that I've been reflecting on for the last couple of days. We've been talking about legacy. We've been talking about memories. And I'm passing you guys the legacy torch. Life can throw curveballs. And I know some of us are going through some change. And I know it's rough. Losing parents is not easy. Losing a grandmother is not easy. But the three of you in the last 13 months have fought and haven't given up. I love you, bro. So I want to give you guys this legacy torch to keep that fire burning within inside of you. Because what we're building within the next year coming up, it's going to carry everything forward, and it's going to keep you guys ignited to not let that fire go out. We're at the summit for this one, but it means we got to get back to base camp. We got to prep for the next climb. And I want you to know that the three of you, I'm proud of each and every one of you. You know that. But for this summit, I wanted to put the summit in the sunlight on you three, because you haven't given up. You haven't stopped. And even though the climb can be steep at times, you kept showing up. So carry that torch inside, because what you're about to build, as Jeff said, I believe, I also see great things within the three of you. And at times things will come to a close that we thought would be with us for life. But there's something bigger and brighter and more beautiful out there. This is legacy in motion. And this is journeying forward with every step. I want to thank everybody from YouTube, from Facebook. Mom, thank you for joining us at the end here. Let's continue to build. Let's continue to climb. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for joining us for the last 2 days. Thank you to all of our amazing speakers for being a part of this. Thank you to Michael Duffy for helping with all the technology snafus that we had. Couldn't have done this without you, brother. Thank you to Michael Faber for his mentorship. Thank you to my mom and dad for their example what true legacy in motion is all about. And most importantly, thank you to my big brother, who, when we were together, was my guardian here on earth. But he is my guardian from heaven. Stay tuned, y'all. We're going to be back in 2.5 to 3 months for our next summit. It might be virtual, but it could be live. Who knows? So everybody from YouTube, Facebook, have a wonderful night. May the Lord richly bless and keep you, and may his smile shine down upon you. Everybody have a beautiful night. Much love.
Love you, David.
Love you too. Everybody in Zoom land.